It's Stocks and it's Logan, of course, and we're joined by the Jets again to really give us some AFC love because me and Stocks, honestly, we don't play in the division, so honestly, we can't really give much or solid information about it without being kind of jaded, Stocks. So that's why I brought in the Jets tonight to help us out.
Hey guys, I'll try my best.
We can always use the AFC, camaraderie and, get the aspect of how they, how they come out.
Yeah, you can't leave us out.
Yeah, definitely. Because you guys got some strong teams and, leading the pack with you, we talked about you, a couple months ago and you're sitting pretty with 9-2 record.
Yeah, I've been pretty lucky this season so far. My plan kind of worked, becoming a running team and really just having one really solid wide receiver in Roddy White. I've got a few lucky games in there too, so I can't say it's definitely not skill, but some of the trades I made earlier really paid off.
Well, it's got to be a combination of all those things, skill, luck, and then you got to have the right formula. And I think running the ball, as me and Stocks found out, running the ball is the way to win it in Madden 12 at least.
Yeah, I mean, this rookie that I was really hoping would come in and do well is lighting it up. I think he's got 21 rushing touchdowns so far this season.
Gibbons, right?
Yeah. So he's been quite good, and then also Green is still plowing in there. I think he has over 500 yards so far.
It's always nice to have a little thunder and lightning.
Yeah, it's pretty good actually. And then I mean, my game plan is fairly simple. It's ball control, run the ball, play solid defense, and it's worked out well.
Simplicity, that seems to be the key this year, Stocks.
Yeah, definitely. How do you feel on the defensive side of the ball? Your veterans like Urlacher and Bart Scott and Rasheed Matthews holding up for you.
They've made all the difference in the world. Urlacher's come in, I think, and forced 5 fumbles or something, and he's just all over the field. I mean, it really is amazing how much of a difference he makes.
He can leap like a all over the place. In this game.
I'm pretty sure some of the guys I've been playing against have been cursing and swearing when he comes out and does whatever. I know he single-handedly won me the game against New England when I played him. Came in, caused a forced fumble, and essentially locked down the game. So, I mean, he's been great. My whole defense has been really, really amazing this season.
You know what's been great for me? Getting him exactly out of my division for good. See ya. Because I tell you what, he picked off Stafford like 8 times.
No, I'm more than happy to have him on my side, I can tell you that much.
Well, I'm sure you are.
But nobody kind of gave me what I wanted, and I'm more than happy to keep him. He's playing really well. So
let's talk about some other guys in your division. I'll get to Stocks on this, but especially you, since again you play in the AFC.
Sure.
What do you think about the Buffalo Bills?
You know what? The Bills might be at the bottom of the division, and I told Tito this as well. If he gets a quarterback, he's going to be top of the division. His defense is amazing, and he runs the ball really well. It's just his quarterback play is horrendous. He just throws pick after pick because he doesn't have anybody that has any accuracy.
Yeah, well, me and Stockton look at it, and we see he had Ryan Fitzpatrick, which he never really used. He used Brad Smith for a while there, and he got a young rookie who is pretty much a run first guy again. So he's never really had any accuracy at the position. Do you think that's all this team needs, just from a statistical standpoint, Stocks, as a quarterback?
Well, looking over the roster and how his game's going about, yeah, it definitely starts at the quarterback position. But then I look at, D'Angelo Williams. He's got a rookie running back in Doolittle. And, those two guys, I'm not sure if they can really carry the load. That could be, hindering his progress, I think, a little bit.
Yeah, well, you know what I find interesting is, I was looking at his defensive stats. Cortland Finnegan is right up there in tackles for a corner. 38 tackles for a corner with 3 interceptions. That's pretty good. So maybe
the defensive side of the ball looks really stellar.
Yeah.
He's got Doomerville with 8 sacks as well. I mean, he like I said, his defense is quite good. It's just his offense puts him in such bad positions that it really doesn't show up.
So you think it's not really his skill. If he got the quarterback that fit his system, he would be good.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to play him if he's got a really good quarterback. He's quite a solid player.
Yeah, unfortunately, he had to be booted again this week. Hopefully, he can work it out. You know, the Jets knows as anyone, his work schedule is tremendously difficult. Tremendous. I mean, he works like 50 hours a week. You
Yeah,
can
he's
just
not easy to
hope.
get that's for sure.
Yeah, I know about that.
So I just hope it's okay, and you know, he can work it all out. And you know, again, this is just a game, but it's pretty fun to do every week. That's again why we do this podcast.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He's a fun guy to talk to once you finally catch him.
Yeah, he really is. And he does try it. Like we said, he works 50 hours a week. You guys try it and give me a shot. You know, it's difficult, and I definitely know that. What do you think about the Miami Dolphins?
Yeah, they're going to be my rival, my biggest rival for the top of the division. I just played them, barely squeaked out a win. His quarterback played really poorly. I think he had 5 interceptions, something like this.
Yeah,
But, I mean, he's very good on offense, pretty good on defense. I mean, he's got Cameron Wake, who had 3 sacks against me. I ended up pulling out the game, but it was more or less just one of these, I don't know, Madden determined that I was going to win, and he threw interception after interception and essentially gave me the game. So another tough player, but it just didn't go his way. He'll have his chance, I think, in 2 weeks we play again, so we'll see how it goes then.
give me the Cameron Wake factor a little bit, because last year he kind of blew on the scene, and there was a lot of, is he doing this by some gadget, gimmick, glitch, whatever you want to call it, or was he doing it fair? And I think at the end of the day, we justified that he was doing it fairly, at least from what we could tell. He's definitely down from that this season. Does Wake still have the impact he normally has on your divisional games at least?
He certainly did against me. I had about 1.5 seconds to throw the ball every single time. So he was coming every time. Anytime I even dropped back to try and throw a longer pass, he was on top of me. So he's definitely still there. I don't know. I've been trying to pay a little more attention to whether or not he's got some formation that he comes off the edge, and I think he does, but I couldn't really pinpoint it, to be honest with you.
And that again, that's more good defense than a glitch, if you ask me, Stocks.
Yeah, his stats this year, Cameron Wake has 62 tackles, 11 sacks, and 3 forced fumbles. So I don't think he's on pace to set in the world record again, but 11 sacks already is outstanding.
Yeah, no, he's still a very intimidating player. He's still on top of you every game.
You were saying his offense is very good, correct?
Yeah.
Because from looking at the stats, what would you guess, Stocks, is his best? What do you think he is for passing yards offensively in the league for ranks? With his skill set, Brandon Marshall and all those guys, maybe you'd say top 10. The guy's number 1. Number 1 for offensive passing yards. So, I mean, he's got some weapons on that offense, but it's definitely not the most potent offense in the world. It's not the Philadelphia Eagles or, an offense like that, or even a Lions offense where he's got, stud guys all over the place. I'd be really, really scared to see what he would do with an offense like mine. Good thing I suck and I got all the good guys and I'll leave him the scraps. But going back to the Patriots, what do you think about the Patriots?
My bitter rivals.
Yes.
Yeah, they are, of course, a tough team. We always have really close games. I like it because Brady and I can kind of joke around and we have a good time with the rivalry. But he's got Hernandez, he's got Austin, and that's basically his offense. He just throws it to them all game. Gets a bit frustrating, to be honest with you, because you can't stop him, essentially. If you want to beat me, I mean, it's no secret. You just throw it to your tight end all game. That's pretty much how I lose every time. So he's got some his whole team is just stacked. If you look through his roster, it's amazing the amount of talent he has. And I think he's actually figured out a way to use them just that he wins most of his games now.
So, I mean, I think him and the Dolphins, I have a pretty decent lead now, 3 games up on the Dolphins and 4 games up on the Patriots. But we'll see. I have a tough schedule coming up here at the end as well. have to play the Cardinals and a couple of other good teams. So I'm a bit concerned, but hopefully I can pull it out and win the division fairly.
I just switched the speaker system, so we should be getting better sound quality, hopefully. Even though I think it was good enough, I'm trying new things to help the sound quality. So if anyone's listening, if you can give me a shout out after you listen to it, tell me if it's better or not. What do you think of? I know Stocks isn't like I said, me and Stocks don't know a lot. So is there a team, Stocks, you want to talk about?
Oh no, I was just going to go back and just give a quick, about the Patriots. One thing about the Patriots is if you're on a trade with AJ Foster, I always just check out how he's doing, where he was on your team at once. And, he's already at 1,200 yards rushing and 14 touchdowns. So he's doing a pretty...
No, I think Adrian Foster is a very good player. Mm-hmm. Again, like I said, I think the thing with him is I needed an offensive line. It doesn't matter what kind of running back you have. You need an offensive lineman to open those holes, and I just did not have that. And to get it, I had to give up a very valuable piece. It was either going to be give up Adrian Foster or give up a wide receiver, and I wasn't going to move Calvin Johnson. So, as I love Foster, and I think he can really do some great things. I would personally say he's probably the third best running back in the game. He's very underrated as a pass catching running back, in my opinion.
He's always pretty tough against me. I'm usually so concerned chasing around the tight end that he usually shreds me with him. So, yeah, he's definitely a good running back, that's for sure.
Well, what do you think?
Brown stocks. What was up with the Browns?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to get a sense of, he was a new owner. He's come in, he's kind of, got some, decent wins. And just how his gameplay, meets up, just how he ranks since he's a new guy.
Yeah, so actually he's one of my 2 losses this season. It was a really close game. He actually beat me while completely hammered drunk. So I'm not so proud of myself on that one. But anyways, yeah, he's got a solid team. I mean, I'm trying to remember the game. I think there was a lot of scoring in the game, so he was very good offensively. Defensively, I'm not
43-40. So close game, high scoring.
Yeah, but I think his tight end had about 15 catches or something like that.
Yeah, and he had some big runs with Charles, if I'm not mistaken. So.
Yeah, I mean, okay, Charles is a given, right? I mean, he's pretty tough to stop.
Yeah.
But I think through to Ben Watson, 15 times or something.
11 times.
11 times, yeah, okay. So, yeah, I seem to recall chasing his tight end around as well. He's Freddie's brother, so I think Freddie kind of said, hey, throw to your tight end, and Jeff have a problem. I think that's what happened. Anyway.
And it's pretty ironic that Watson used to be a Patriot. No irony there at all.
I mean, I was just chasing. I mean, it's typically how it goes with me. I'm usually chasing the tight ends around myself. But no, it was a tough game, and he ended up taking me down. He's a good player. It's just stuck in a division with Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, so it's going to be a tough one to get out of.
And the Baltimore Ravens are open again. I'm not sure if you know that. We won't get into really why the owner threw a fit and acted like a baby, but that's beyond the point. The point is, with that division being so tough, do you think anyone takes that team?
Yeah, I think someone will take that team. I mean, it is the Ravens. They still have a fairly solid group over there. I mean, any new player is going to come in, and they're not going to really know that Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, and even Cleveland, they're very formidable foes. So, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't have a problem taking a team like that. It's kind of a challenge, right?
And, a lot of times the challenge can really intrigue people. I know I like to rebuild a team. It's always kind of a hidden talent of mine. I like to kind of mold that team how I used to. As Stocks knows, when I first came to the league, I took over a rebuilding program. So it can be done. Don't be afraid of that.
No. Hopefully there'll just be someone who comes in and wants to play their games and, has fun with it.
Right.
If they're a good player, great. If not, then it doesn't really matter. But just essentially get a full league and not have to worry about it anymore would be nice.
I want to talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars because I just played Alex a game ago, and I really got screwed. I don't mean to really make a bunch of excuses, but I don't know if Alex has it saved. I know he saves a lot of highlights. Even he looked at over it after the game. There's a long touchdown pass that shouldn't have been counted in the game because his feet were clearly out of bounds. It was a college touchdown, 1 foot in bounds, the second foot not in bounds. They wouldn't let me challenge it. It was definitely a turning point in the game because the score might look pretty high, but actually it was a pretty good defensive battle. That being said, I think Jacksonville, if he can get consistent play, he'd be really tough. But his team he can't do it consistently. One season he's in the playoffs, and then the other season he's 3-8 now, and he's just Blaine Gabbert to me is just not consistent. I know Stocks has talked about it, not knowing if Blaine could really be your guy, and I'm not sure he's Alex's guy either. What do you think of Blaine Gabbert, Stocks?
Yeah, I don't even think it goes on to Blaine Gabbert. If I was Alex, I think I would run, MJD into the ground. I really would. I think he's the type of back that, can control the game and, not put all the emphasis on Blaine Gabbert. And he can use his underneath guys versus trying to go over the top with Holmes. And maybe that's where he's been getting into problems.
Well, yeah, I think that's part of it definitely. Against me, he did try to go underneath a little bit to the tight end some, and one guy was I didn't pick him off at all, but there was some throws where I definitely could have. I just think Blaine Gabbert just can't be the guy. I don't know what it is. I guess I'm not a Blaine Gabbert fan. Don't tell the people back in Missouri because I think they still really like him, but I don't know. I don't think he's the guy, and he definitely needs to run more, and I think he did a pretty good job. He gave it to him 13 times, gave another rookie the ball 10 times. So his idea is to split carries, but I think what you're saying is you don't have to with MJG. But I don't know. He's inconsistent. And what do you think this team? I know. We got the draft and all these things, but is there one team or one player in 2013 who's going to do really good? Could you guys give me like 2 or 3 names? I'm putting you guys on the spot too much, aren't I?
Madden players or the team?
Madden players, the team. What teams make the biggest jumps from this season to next, just for fun? I think Brady and the Patriots make a huge jump. I think Jacksonville could make a jump, but the team, I think we already hit on the Buffalo Bills could make the biggest jump.
Yeah, well, see, taking into consideration of the new rosters is a key factor.
Mm-hmm.
As in the turnover roster that, Peyton Manning's with the Broncos now. How is that gonna work
Mm-hmm.
with, the new team that the Broncos have with True. So with that in consideration, it's kind of tough to really pinpoint right now. And as in your aspect, Detroit Lions, you're gonna have a lot of good returning players.
Yeah.
As part of a team, but you're going to have a lot of guys going up in overalls just because of their performance last year.
Yes. Hopefully I get a better Stafford.
Yeah. So that's what you have to kind of look at,
I'm just trying to give these teams that might have bad records some hope. Saying look at the Buffalo Bills. You're saying if they get a quarterback, they could be pretty good. Maybe Fitzpatrick gets some stats that he likes, or maybe with that defensive line, he really improves on defense and he doesn't have to score as many points. With Mario Williams and these type of things. And just going to a different team though. Let's go to some of the harder teams in the AFC as a whole. What do you think about the Steelers? I think you guys could possibly meet in the playoffs.
Yeah, I hope not. The Steelers are by far the toughest team I've played in the league.
Yeah.
Burr is an amazing defensive player. I mean, his team is just impossible to score on. I played him twice, and both times he trying to get Revis from me, and I cannot bear to give him Revis, because if he gets Revis, I don't know what anybody's going to do against him. So, yeah, to me, he's the team to beat in the league, but definitely at least in the AFC. And it's just, yeah, he's done a very good job of being a GM, but also, I mean, his defense fits his playing style as well.
Well, he's a Steelers fan through and through. You know, you just know that with 5 minutes talking to the guy. What do you think, if there's any improvements he needs to make? Is there any weaknesses that you see in his game? Because everyone always says he's a really good player. Me and Stocks know he can be a really good player from his years. But what's the one thing about the Steelers that you think maybe needs to improve, or at least keep the? Is there anything really? I mean,
I mean, on offense, if you had to pick something, I mean, like I say, he's really quite solid, so I don't want to say too much, but he could throw in a little bit more passing, actually. I think he tends to just go with the run, which is, fine. But his passing game really lets him down. I think that he could go over the top a little more, and even just kind of grind it out with short passing plays to set up the run, maybe even more than he already does. But I don't know if that's more of him not being comfortable with Roethlisberger or what it is. But if I had to pick something, I would say he could maybe throw the ball a bit more. But
Stocks, we haven't seen this Kobe Ross. We haven't played him. I know I haven't played him at least. I don't think you had him.
Nope.
I think next season we might get him in the last season. At least I think I do. I don't know about you, but I'm interested to see this young running back.
Yeah, you don't really want to.
So, are you saying he's a favorite this year for the Super Bowl?
I would have to say. I mean, he's doing really well in a very tough division. I mean, Cincinnati's nothing to laugh at. JR is a great owner.
Yeah, he is.
Player. Defense is amazing. So, I mean, he's also a very solid player as well.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, we're doing this video thing where we try to break down a lot of teams, even all the teams from each division, but he really did it in a written form on the XFIN website weeks back before the season started, I think, before week 1. If you guys want to check that out, that was really well done. What do you think of the Cincinnati Bengals?
I haven't played them this year, so I'm not entirely certain, but I know he throws a lot to A.J. Green. He has a rookie running back that's in the running for probably Rookie of the Year with Gibbons and maybe another guy. He's got 19 touchdowns running, 1,200 or 1,300 yards. So, I mean, he's a very solid running back.
Yeah. He's also averaging 6.1 yards a carry on over 200 attempt stocks. So.
That's remarkable.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's got it going on offense. And, I mean, his defense is not necessarily about the players that he's got in his defense. It's him actually using them.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically kind of playing the deep safety and then chasing down the pass. I guess it shows his defensive ratings. Maybe I'm not being accurate, but I guess he's almost last in pass yards given up, so maybe I shouldn't say anything, but I'm not sure what's going on there. But
you're saying situationally he can be very good on defense.
I mean, when I played him in another league, he user picked me, I think, 3 or 4 times. So, I mean, he does a very nice job on defense.
And Stocks, you know this, if you can use their interception, anything, if you can use their player with any kind of success, you're going to do well in this league.
Oh, yeah, it's just, you're helping out Madden also. I mean, Madden's playing with you, so
yeah.
If you can just add a little bit like that, that just makes you more deadly.
Yeah, if you can take your star player and make him a superstar in essence, or, make up for that old ground where, Madden might have made a mistake there, or, it can be very key. Like you're saying, maybe he's not the best passing defense, but situationally he can really lock you down, or at least it seems. I want to give this team to Stocks. I know you're not a division guy, but in the division, but what do you think of the Denver Broncos? Particularly, what do you think of True? I think you've played them this season, have you not?
Yeah, I had a pretty bad outcome. I was up at halftime by like almost 20 points, and I ended up losing by 20 points. basically shot myself in the foot in that game. Well, yeah, the Broncos true is a good all around player.
Mm-hmm.
He uses Tebow to his strengths. He kind of shies away from his weaknesses. He has a decent running back in Bernard Scott and this other guy Jones. Jones has 70 carries for 710 yards with 6 TDs. He was just just being a big back, and it would take a couple guys to take him down. So he always had a good running attack against him.
Now
he's gonna make a move this year, I think.
Yeah. So, well, he's got a ton of injuries, fellas. A ton. He's got Tate out for 9 weeks. He's got DJ Williams out for 4 weeks. He's got Brandon Lloyd out for 2 weeks. He's got the cornerback Vaughn out for 2 weeks. Simmons, the guy who won the Rookie of the Year, I think, last year, or was in the Rookie of the Year running, I should say, as a linebacker, right outside linebacker out for 3 weeks. Was that all Cushing's doing? I know there's one or two offensive guys on there, but was Cushing part of that?
Cushing's got the name of Lloyd. That's it.
I'll tell you what, Jets, if you don't play Stocks a lot, watch out for Cushing, because he injures guys like I never seen in this game at all, man. You're lucky he's not in the AFC anymore. Let me just say that, because that guy sends people to the hospital really quick.
Yeah,
Now,
I know. Broncos have bad luck this year, I guess.
Yeah.
Lost 3 in a row, so, I mean, but Steelers, Chargers, Bengals, those are all really tough games.
Yeah. So, as we know, the Peyton Manning talk has heated up. Denver Broncos all of a sudden a top, hot button topic around the NFL in real life. So let's make it a hot button topic here. What do you think Peyton Manning's rating is if you had to guess for Madden 13, and what impact do you have? Let's say if he is with a true owner, the same owner, keeps the same franchise, and everything is the same pretty much. What do you think? Can he translate from using Tim Tebow to using a Peyton Manning? And what do you really think Peyton Manning's impact is going to be, not on the game itself, but in Madden?
I think if true with Peyton Manning, he'll play into his strengths. I don't see why he wouldn't. To me, he always seems to be angry at Tebow because he fumbles or does something like this. So I think he would want Peyton Manning. And in real life, I would assume Peyton Manning's going to take him to another level, I guess. They're starting to put the pieces in together. They just got Andre Caldwell, I guess, if he gets out of jail. But anyway, they do have some young pieces, and I think they're going to try to build an offense around him. I mean, who knows? It's interesting to see if he comes back strong. If he does, then, I mean, look out.
What do you think his rating's going to be, or what kind of impact do you see? Because I only see him lasting maybe a year, maybe 2 years in Madden. Or do you think he pulls or do you think he's one of these old guys who just sticks around in Madden? Because we've seen it before too. Heck, T.J. Husmanzada is still in the league. So
yeah, if I could say the Manning aspect is, I believe his overall rating should be around a 95 with a high injury, because you don't know what that neck's gonna hold up against.
Yeah.
And if True uses him, I don't think he's only gonna get better with him.
Yeah.
And obviously the accuracy is gonna be night and day from what he's using with Tebow. So that's gonna make him definitely dangerous in that aspect.
Yeah, I see him a lot like Stafford was this year, maybe a 85 rating, or even if you want to push it up and average what Stock says, give him a 90 rating. With Stafford has a 65 injury rating, which I assume is going to go up next year. But maybe that's what Peyton Manning's looking at. But talking about injuries really quick in this game, I don't see that many offensive guys get injured, at least this year. So I'm hoping, Drew's probably hoping the same thing holds true for quarterbacks in next year's game. What do you think about the Tennessee Titans? Because if I don't talk about this guy, he'll never shut up. So what do you think about Tennessee Titans?
I think he finally figured out to use Chris Johnson most of the time, I guess. I think he's leading the league in rushing, I guess.
Yeah, he finally figured out that's his best weapon, and he's finally using him.
Well, second in the league in rushing, I guess. But no, I mean he's a good player. I think I played him week 1. I ended up winning the game. I don't remember exactly what happened, but yeah, I think he has a real chance. The problem with him is he's got stuck with Jake Locker, and I think he tries too hard with Locker to run it instead of throw it, and usually he ends up having problems there. I think it's where it usually ends up costing a little bit.
Yeah, I play him. I haven't played him yet, so I can't speak on his game, perhaps. But I will say this, he just doesn't seem consistent. He beat Manny this season, who also doesn't seem always that consistent. So maybe it was a tale of two tapes there. But he sometimes he pulls out good wins, and then other times the teams that you think he'll roll over or beat, or he just doesn't. I'm trying to look at his last few games. He's 3-8, same as the Jacksonville Jaguars. If you had to give a team, even the stats out a bit, do you think Jacksonville's better or the Tennessee Titans stocks? Stocks?
What was that?
Do you think Tennessee's better or Jacksonville? They have the same record.
I thought you were letting the AFC down.
I have to give you some love. You're on the.
Give you some love, but it's tough to speak. I think I'm going to pass it over to him because I think he would know better than I would. I can look at it stats wise.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I would give it to Tennessee, but
yeah, I give it to Tennessee as well.
Yeah, but down the stretch, is he going to have enough?
Well, so far in the last few games, he's really put a streak together. He's won. The only loss he's had in Week 11 to the Vikings, and that's his most recent loss. I don't think he started off the season that well, but he's really started putting it together.
His defense is pretty solid now, it looks like, so.
Yeah.
I think he'll come out of the South and be in the playoffs.
Now, something I can ask you about stocks. What do you think of the trade? Doesn't matter AFC, NFC. He gave up J.J. Watt for Dwayne Bowe.
It's an interesting trade, Dwayne Bowe on this team is a solid top wide receiver. He's kind of the underclass guy. Doesn't get always notoriety. In Madden, he has 44 catches, 587 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Better than Vincent Jackson in this game? Same caliber?
Yeah, that same caliber, not super speed guy, can go up and get the ball, break tackles, decent size, decent hands. J.J. Watt, I don't have his stats in front of me, but I know this is what he should be his second year, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess that's a fair trade. I say it's a pretty good trade on both sides. I think Tennessee needs a little bit more firepower because all he had was Jared Cook, last year. So yeah, I would definitely take Bowe. That trade.
Now, gentlemen, I think we need to get our black ties on. We might need to go to a funeral, or at least find who the Oakland Raiders are, because remember, he was the Super Bowl champion, and in essence, his team kind of decided they were going to roll over and die a little bit. What happened to the Raiders?
I wouldn't count him out just yet.
You think he makes one big move at the final season, maybe, next season? He puts one more run together?
I lost to them earlier in the season. He's a really tough game.
Yeah, he is.
To me, he's in a very tough division with the Chiefs and the Chargers. Let's not forget them. Chiefs are tied with the Broncos for first in the division. Chargers are one game back.
Mm-hmm.
All of them, those three teams are undefeated in non-conference games. So, they're playing extremely well. But the Raiders I don't know what's going on. I'm always surprised when they lose because he always has such a tough game against me. So
yeah, and he's really had some close losses too. What do you think? Wouldn't it be ironic, Stocks, if he went? Let's say he won the first Super Bowl and then he wins the last one.
Yeah, that would definitely be fitting.
It'd be a little bit ironic, and I think it would be a perfect ending to his season and his Madden 12 experience at least, because he's been a bit inconsistent. But I tell you what, when that guy's on, he's on, and he's got some quick defensive players, Ernie Sims, and these type of guys. McLean flies around, and Brant. The thing about Oakland is they always play fast. So when you play fast, you can still make mistakes and come back. And I think what you're saying is don't count him out yet, Jets.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I guess it's going to be tough for him to make the playoffs maybe this year, being so far behind the rest of the division.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't count him out for the long haul, that's for sure.
No, I definitely wouldn't either. What do you think of the Kansas City Chiefs? Anyone can take this question. I don't care really who goes at it.
I don't know much about them. I played them once and they laid a pretty good beating on me.
I can tell you this. Matt Schaub really helped him. Matt Schaub kind of solidified that quarterback position, because I don't know if he has the same sentiment I do about Matt Castle, but he's not a quarterback, and I think he found that out. Midway through, I think, last season. And since he got Matt Schaub, he's looked pretty good. He's Matt Wildhorse team that surprised some teams in the playoffs. I'm not about to say, he'll be the Super Bowl favorite or he's going to the Super Bowl. I'm just saying he could pull upset, like a Denver Broncos special, if you will, in the playoffs. So somebody better watch out.
Yeah. I wouldn't count him out. He looks like a pretty solid game.
I'm just putting the league on warning, because he looks like he's figured out Matt Schaub, of course, but Forte. He looks like he's running him a lot more consistently, and he's really got it going. Stocks.
That's a question here. Who do you think the underdog team will make the most noise in the AFC?
I think it's the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, I would just like to say, Lord is not the underneath that, because we've always said Lord is due for a big move.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's been around. He knows the game. He's got the pieces now. I mean, he's got Des Bryant also. So I don't know if he's really the underdog or, that type of guy, because he's been knocking at the door, and it's just one of these years he will break through.
Yeah.
He will. He's definitely capable of winning the Super Bowl.
In Madden 11, he proved he's good. I mean, but he just hasn't done it in 12. I tell you what, if I'm going to lay my life on the line Madden-wise with any guy, and put all my Madden chips, if you will, into one basket, it's got to be his for an upset special.
Okay. So I'll be weary of him if I make it.
Yeah, because he's been around the block. That's the thing.
I don't think he's got to be drunk to beat you, is what I'm saying. I'm saying just be careful.
Don't rub that in. Thanks a lot.
Hey, man, he made it very clear that he was, that's why we're in an adult league, if you haven't noticed. But, I don't know if you know this, Jets, but Stocks, he's prime time. He used to be in a semi-pro football league back in the day. So if,
I only played 4 games.
So
4 games and got laid out, folks.
Well, I'm just saying, you're more prime time than I am. So if anyone's going to make a prediction, I guess we go to a football expert, if you will. But maybe if we need a scientific breakdown, we can go to you.
Yeah.
If you go to me, you just get couch potato. But
It's psychology, man.
I guess so. I haven't actually got the degree yet. Don't worry. Yeah, we definitely have some squabbles now and then. Talking about that though, getting back on a more of a serious note, isn't it amazing? All the controversy and teams leaving now and then, and we lose maybe 1, 2, 3, maybe a season, but really we've stayed pretty consistent. 31 owners for a long time now. We got to give some praise to that. So the playoffs are going to be pretty fun. I know we didn't talk about every team, but unfortunately, well, you just really haven't done that much to grab my attention, quite honestly. I mean, we can talk about some other teams. San Diego, they're too inconsistent for me. Colts, same difference. I mean, listen, he's done some great things with Reggie Wayne and Dallas Clark at times, and he's really improved. I think he had one of the first, top 5 picks in the first season. He's really made some good strides. In the beginning of the year, he looked impressive, right up there with the Steelers or anyone else who could really make a move. He was winning some games and he was turning some heads, but he just kind of fell off that plateau and he hasn't been able to retain it. I think a lot of that's bad luck. I think I beat him in a very lucky game a few weeks ago. Houston Texans, I just think he's had too many movable pieces. We've talked about it between us, Docs. He trades way too much, in my opinion. He loves to trade, and I'm glad he loves to trade because somebody's got to trade with some of these trade lovers because it's not just him that loves to trade. There's a few guys. And if that's why you want to run your organization, fine. I'm okay with that. It just didn't work out this year, and I don't think it's going to work out in 12. If he wants to go out and get 12 wide receivers and try it in 13, I wish him the best of luck. I don't mean that sarcastically. I know it comes off a bit like that. What I'm saying is he's unwilling to change, and when you don't change your philosophy, you're going to get the same results. And unless, you're going to change some things. I think he changes a lot of the same stuff he's got. What did he get? He already had a ton of wide receivers, and he makes a trade for, Wes Welker? I mean, did you really need Wes Welker? I don't mean to hate on him, but I just don't see. As you know, guys, we're getting late in the season. I mean, this is the time urgency, matters. You see the Jets. I mean, I know you're on the podcast, so I got to give you some love, but you went out and got Brian Urlacher. I think you give up a first-round draft pick for him?
Yeah.
But at the point, it didn't really matter because we're only going to play a season. So really, you're giving him an 80-plus guy, if that. High 70s, if that. You're not going to see much progression. That was worth it. You filled a need. I just don't think the Houston Texans has filled enough needs. I like him. He can come on the show anytime. We had some good interviews. He made some good points, but I don't know. I will say he beat me if that's any consolation to him. I'm dogging him a little bit here. So if it's any consolation, you beat me. Good job. I want to hit some other teams so that we don't complain about them too much. I think we pretty much did it, though. I mean, San Diego's same difference. I think they're bipolar a little bit, talking about psychology, because sometimes they look great, and then sometimes they don't look as great. What do you think of this team, Madden 13-wise? Do you think Philip Rivers goes down, stays about the same, increases? Do you think losing Vincent Jackson's going to hurt this team?
Yeah, I think that's a big weapon, so I'm pretty sure it's not going to be quite the same without him.
I would agree. I will say, though, maybe part of the problem why he's at least having an up and down season, although he is 7-4, that's not terrible. I mean, we're talking about the AFC, and they have some difficult teams that we've mentioned. But he does have Eric Weddle out, one of the best safeties in the game. I think he is the best safety in the game, if you ask me. Troy Polamalu might argue that fact, but I think, I think Weddle's one of the best. What do you guys think about the Chargers? Because maybe we have overlooked them. Maybe that's a team, like you said, that you might want to watch out for if they get in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they're going to be fighting for getting in the playoffs. I'm not sure. I mean, it is only one game. I mean, they're right there. They're on a pretty good winning streak. They've won 4 of their last 5, I think. So, I mean, they're doing quite well. I don't think we should knock them.
No.
I haven't played him. Yet, so I'm not even sure about his game. So, hopefully they can make a good dogfight in the AFC West. I mean, there seems to be 3 playoff-worthy teams in that division. So, I guess maybe both the wild cards could come from that division. It'll be them or the Bengals probably is the last 2 teams.
I'll speak when I'm wrong, and I might have been wrong about this guy. I was saying people didn't turn their heads enough. Maybe I didn't turn my head and look at the Chargers quite enough, Docs, because he beat the Broncos. And we don't have to know a lot about the AFC to know the Broncos is a pretty good team. He beat the Broncos, so that's pretty good. I think I might have lost one of them, so we'll see if I can get him back here. It says I have a connection issue, and they're trying to fix the problem. So I'll go and keep talking for a minute here. But, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the San Diego Chargers do as I try to get the connection back with these guys. And here's what I'll do. I'll call them back individually. It looks like I've lost connection with my internet, and that's great because I have a game scheduled in an hour or so. Here's Stocks, if you haven't heard that noise. What's going on, fellas?
Hey.
I lost you for a moment. I guess I lost connection there.
Okay.
I'm trying to call Stocks back. But what I was saying in your absence, what I was getting at, is can a team like the San Diego Chargers make it when he throws he's pretty much putting a lot on Gates. Gates has almost 70 catches for a tight end. That's quite a lot. Do you think at Gates' age and his performance, could he really lead the Chargers?
I mean, he's got to drop off at some point, I guess. He might make it over this version of Madden with him, so that would be great for him, I guess.
Stocks, are you back with us?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, the Chargers aspect, they've got, Ryan Matthews, Vincent Jackson, and Antonio Gates. Those are the three guys that make that team go. And how far he can take those guys, is bound to be seen because they're solid, but are they solid enough?
Like I was saying, you don't have to know a lot about the AFC to know that the Broncos is a pretty good team. And he beat the Broncos a few weeks back. So he's definitely no lollipop. I think I made a mistake by saying you need to turn our heads because I think I was wrong and just didn't turn my head and look at him because he definitely had some impressive wins. He beat the Buccaneers, then he beats the Colts, and you might say, well, he was expected to beat those teams. But then he goes and beats the Broncos. And he takes care of the Ravens. I mean, he didn't leave a door open for him. He took care of them when he needed to. Is this your surprise team? I know you asked me the question, and I said the Kansas City Chiefs. But what's the surprise team for you?
My surprise team is the Bengals.
The Bengals. Do you think Super Bowl, or do you think they're just going to pull an upset special and be done?
No, I mean, they definitely can make it to the Super Bowl if they pull it off. I mean, you never know. I mean, Pittsburgh seems to have everybody's number, but I think in the right circumstance, in the right situation, the Bengals can definitely pull it off.
Mm-hmm. I'll give this to Stocks and to you, and I'll kind of be the referee, if you will, into this wrestling match. I'll give you one case to say why the NFC is going to win it, Stocks, and I want you to take one case and say why the AFC is going to win it. Who wants to go first?
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, the Steelers are my team that are going to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. They did it last year. They'll probably do it again this year. They have too many weapons. I guess last year they lost to the Giants, who were in a dogfight with the Eagles, apparently. My opinion is that the Steelers have a superior team all around. Defense will win you championships. I think this year he kind of learned his lesson from last year, and he'll be prepared to make a really deep run into the playoffs, represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. Hopefully I will beat them and represent the AFC myself, but I'm not going to count on that.
I like the love. I like the confidence. Well, then you kind of...
I'm hoping to make the playoffs. I'm not really worried about making noise in the playoffs. But no, I think last year was a good learning experience, and this year he'll pick it up and take it all away. He just needed a couple more pieces maybe, and now he's going to even next year he's got 3 first-round draft picks, so he'll have an even deeper team, which is not good for the rest of us.
Tell me why it's going to come out of the NFC, Stocks.
You want the team, I believe?
Teams, but what makes us better that you think they can beat the AFC?
Well, that's kind of a tough question. The more of the team there's more teams in the AFC that look more overall balanced. You know what I mean? And complete.
Yeah, there's definitely more parity in the AFC.
Yeah.
That being said, there's some powerhouses in the NFC. You got teams like the Giants, teams like the Vikings, who could really make some noise. So let me ask you this, since you don't want to go out and stamp a team. Is there a team like the Oakland Raiders that no one's talking about all season long from the North or the AFC, if you want to qualify yourself, that could really go out and really win a Super Bowl, kind of shock the world, if you will?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to Lord, and Lord, like he got the quarterback in Shaw. You got Forte and McCluster running, the 1-2 combo. Torrey Sanders and Des Bryant, on the offensive receivers. Defensive side's not too bad. He's got Will Spoon and Eric Berry on the defensive side back. I just think maybe it's his time that he, finally gets one together.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell you what, you scared the Jets. The Jets does not want to play the Kansas City Chiefs at all anymore. So
it's not more of like, he's making big splashes, but like you said, the Matt Shaw deal is huge for him.
yeah.
He's putting together a nice, quiet, good season with, 26 touchdowns. He's beaten some good teams, and he looks very balanced. With his record at, 8-3, he's sitting pretty.
I'll go back to the Houston Texans factor. We always say he has too many cooks in the kitchen. Well, instead of keeping Bo and Des Bryant, or, however that was going to work out, he decided, hey, I don't need another key wide receiver. I mean, I'm going to go out and get a young stud, outside linebacker, defensive end, depending on what system he plays, and I'm going to plug him in, and he's going to be the missing link. And so far, his philosophy has really worked. That being said, I don't mean to hate on the Houston Texans. I love my big, all-star wide receivers. I got Mike Williams and Calvin Johnson. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I'm just giving you two pieces of the puzzle and showing you the contrast of styles. So I think that's about it, guys. Thanks for doing it. I think we covered a lot of stuff.
Well, I have some breaking news right now.
Breaking news, give it to me.
Breaking news. ESPN Adam Schefter reports that the Broncos will allow Tim Tebow to choose his next team, either the Jacksonville Jaguars or the Jets. The Broncos apparently have similar offers from Jacksonville and New York, so they're leaving it up to Timmy.
He goes.
Obviously, his decision is the Jaguars because Tebow is from Jacksonville.
He goes to Jacksonville.
Jaguars, please.
He goes to Jacksonville. If Jacksonville is willing to take him, and it is truly up to him, how can you not? Because the kid could still do bad in Jacksonville. He could still have a bad season and be loved there.
He's going to be the starter in Jacksonville and not the starter in New York.
Well, no, Blaine Gabbert will have something about the starter, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think Blaine Gabbert has a chance, at least competition there.
Maybe.
But okay, even if, let's say he went to the Jets. The Jets is a tough market. I don't care how many Tim Tebow, Christian fans, non-Christian fans, all Tim Tebow Nation comes together. In that market, in that whirlwind media that is in New York, if he does bad there, if he messes up, they can turn on you really quick. They're not quite as bad as Philadelphia, but there is a bit of, you better do good for me now since you're, a Jet. So I think the safe bet is to go home, get some of that home cooking from mom, meet some of your high school buddies, slap hands with the Florida guys, start doing the Florida chomp again, start feeling good, and he'll find a nice little home there in Jacksonville.
Okay, guys, I don't want to cut you off. My computer's going to die here quick.
All right.
Oh, yes, you do. See you, man.
Just don't cover the Jets, Tebow. Go somewhere else.
That's the lasting words of the podcast, and I think me and Stocks are going to end on the same note.
Right.
Tebow Nation has hit Madden Nation as we end the podcast, but it's everywhere, folks. I'll tell you what. Jacksonville, Tim Tebow, what about you, Stocks? Where does he go?
Yeah, it sounds like he's going to Jacksonville if he wants to be the starter.
I'm telling you, Mama's home cooking is going to bring him back to Jacksonville. All right, fellas, I'm off.
He's
I'm not off. I lied, but this is some bonus coverage. Not intentional bonus coverage, so really I'm off now. Peace out, guys.